Do you think you're part of the problem? You're
No, sir.
you're so angry. If I just sit there like this, you would rant for 45 minutes. All right, next up is TM Asphalt and Sealing of Schoolcraft versus Travis Blair. You gentlemen here from TM Asphalt?
Yes, sir. I'm Brandon Bordner, owner of TM Asphalt.
I'm Terry Moyer, sales rep on this project. Sales.
All right, would you both please raise your right hand? Mr. Blair has not appeared.
I'm right here, sir.
Oh, he's here. I thought you were with her. All right, Mr. Blair, would you come up and have a seat?
Yes, sir.
Would you please raise your right hand? Small claims is a separate division of the 3B District Court. Claim is limited to $7,000 and you can sue for money damages only. You can't sue for a tort. Neither party is allowed to have an attorney in small claims court. This is important. There's no formal record being made in small claims court and there's no appeal. Any decision made in small claims court is final. All right, this is a claim for $2,825.82. We get a lot of these different contractors suing on non-payment of a contract. In this particular case, the plaintiff claims that amount for services rendered and the amount unpaid. The total was $13,940. Defendant paid $11,114.38, and plaintiff contends $2,825.82 is due. Mr. Blair has a different view of things, and he filed an answer. He says, I agree to pay something, but this is not full amount. Working on getting a code for unfixed damage. I counterclaim for $3,000 because of the damage done to my yard, harassment by Terry Mosby.
Should have been
Moyer for just showing up at my house, causing issues. You can't really sue for that sort of thing.
He showed up unannounced after I made a formal complaint online about their poor standard of quality, and actually admitted that they were at fault. The owner.
All right, well, you're the defendant, so
yes, sir.
They get to go first. I'll hear your story. Mr. Bordner, why do you believe he owes you $2,825?
I currently show the overdue balance at $2,665.21.
All right, now, Mr. Blair, your answer is a little unclear. You said I owe some, and I'm willing to make payments, but on the other hand, then you counterclaim for $3,000.
Well, I have a issue with the driveway itself, Your Honor. I have sinkholes developing in part of the in the driveway that extend over 35 feet long and about 25 feet wide. They were not there originally. They started off as a small little hole. They have since grown and almost runs an entire length side of my driveway, which I have pictures and video of. There's several cracks. One crack in general is over 25 feet long or 22 feet long. The cracks continue to grow as the weather continues to worsen. I have cracks down the side of the driveway, which are not relevant to what Brandon's going to say. It's part of the edging, but it's not. It's actually, if you look at the driveway, it's cracking. I've got samples from where my driveway is cracking, which he assured me would never do, and it's cracking here. I also have both of them. I recorded both of them on my property where they both admit that they could have easily fixed this, but they decided not to. Brandon and Mr. and Terry said that it's an easy fix with heat and a hammer, and they never even bothered to bring either when they showed up at my house the second time. I have to get estimates, but right now, small ballpark, they parked their heavy equipment along the side of my driveway, and it left 2 deep trenches, which also resulted in damaging the deck of my mower, which now I need a quote on that. They used part of my driveway. They used part of my I had seed and I know I had mulch and I had some peat moss. They use that as support for the driveway. Even right in that same spot, I have a tiny sinkhole developing there. It's probably about 5 feet long. The damages overall, Your Honor, I have not been able to get an estimate. So, but I think that with everything going on, I think it's easy to say that I also filed up with a letter, different letter. I mailed them a certified letter to which Mandy signed. I mailed them a letter and they did sign it. I left the receipt signed. It's in my car. It's at the shop getting repaired. But I did get a signed copy, which was with I signed an official document stating that they are to fix this. They have not even addressed it or even acknowledged it, but they did just admit to cashing the check because the check was sent with the letter.
Now, which check is that?
The $200 I just sent them. And I mean, overall, they promised good, high quality asphalt, 36 grade, 36A asphalt. Through my investigation and my online, some of my research and looking up different cases and everything going on, you can clearly see that they use subpar material and they substitute subpar material. And as I walk out my steps, you can see that the asphalt's pulling apart and it's just turning into nothing but stone. Hot asphalt mix is not supposed to look like it's a stone or reptilian skin. And most of my driveway looks like that. Where the sinkholes are, that's about 35 feet long. That entire section looks like it's done with poor material. The causes of the sinkhole is a result of poor base setting, quickly setting the asphalt layers where they were quick to do it. And then on top of it, some material. I'm not going to pay for subpar material until I have a quote. Best case scenario, that whole section has to get tore up, just get fixed because they have to strip it all the way down to the base layer to fix it.
All right, they're not here. You're here. You've got a laptop.
They're right. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they're there, but if I'm to look at your pictures, it's going to be hard for them to see them.
Yeah, I didn't know.
All right, well, there is a way to tie into that where we could share the pictures, but I'm not sure. Let's see what you got, what you want me to see.
So this is my asphalt. You can see here that this is not what high grade asphalt is supposed to look like. You can see how if you want, I could pull up the original. We can zoom in if you want, Your Honor. But you can see how this is all scaling. That is poor grade asphalt. That means they're using this is them using recycled asphalt instead of high grade asphalt, which is what's in the contract with 36A. We never agreed upon that.
All right, are you an expert in asphalt?
No, Your Honor, but if they would like to testify under oath what they used, so they can demonstrate through quality controls or anything they've done.
All right, well, they can't see your pictures, and I don't know if I can get my camera over there.
I can move it closer if you whatever you prefer, Your Honor.
Right now, it's not even facing the right direction. It's on. Let's see here.
I have long arms, Your Honor.
Well, they can't see that, but
whatever you need to do,
it's
sir.
on this camera right here. So let's see.
I'll bring it closer.
All right, go ahead. Okay, just show me what you want to show me.
Okay, so you got the low grade quality asphalt. I go, here's the cracking. This is just a small example of the cracking. Same cracking. Down in here, this is actual video, but underneath all of this, it's so brittle, it's falling apart, which is part of that example. And what's happening is the seams on the asphalt, Your Honor, are breaking apart. And then underneath here, water can get in. It's going to basically eventually separate, and all this these sections are going to fall apart. I mean, right now we've got freezing going on. So the water's going to get in underneath all of this asphalt, and it's going to pop it up. Eventually it's going to destroy within a year or two, these sections are going to be completely gone because there's no base. It's all just up like this. Water can get in. And now it's just eventually when it freezes, it's going to lift and it's going to start cracking across the driveway. Actually, if you want, I'll turn.
No, just show me the rest of the pictures.
Here's more examples how it's just brittle, falling apart, more uneven surfaces. Right here is one example of the sinkhole, Your Honor. That's just one section. That's after recent rainfall.
Back up.
Yes, sir. Right here.
So what am I looking at?
This is just one of the. This is
a mud puddle on top of the.
No, this is a sinkhole. Oops. This is a sinkhole from them with they did this entire section wrong. you can see how the sinkhole is starting to develop because of it. And that's just one section. You can see here, that entire section is nothing but a sinkhole, and it runs all the way down that. And that's the result of them not doing this correctly at all. Their whole base layer is wrong.
So looks like a big puddle. So it's a low point that's full of water.
Yeah, and it's not even. And eventually what's happening now is all this is freezing and it's turning into nothing but one big ice rink. But this is an example of poor quality because it started out, Your Honor, if I may go back. It started off almost that size, but it started off that size over here. And now it just keeps growing. And I have more, but you can clearly see how that's just a depression right there. That's an example of poor quality. And then here, if you keep, when it goes further, you see all that? That is because they did this entire job in a hasty manner with substandard material, and they did it in a fast because they're behind schedule because of the rain we had throughout July and August. They were so far behind schedule. Brandon can attest to, if he wants to admit under oath, they were working from basically sun up to sundown and on Saturdays because they get caught back up. More.
All right, do you have any more pictures?
Yeah, this is the latest. You can see, look how much freezing that is. They're supposed to have measurement, but you can see all of that is all frozen because of the sinkholes and depression from poor material. So you can see, this is another video of how big this depression is. This is not what a driveway is supposed to look like. It's not supposed to sink in on itself. May I move on?
Yes.
And you can see here again, you can see how it clearly runs all the way down and all the way over. So it's not even draining, it's just flooding. And this entire section is scaling and coming apart. Everything in here is scaling and coming apart. We don't need that. I think this might be. So yeah, more, this is more pictures, more video. I'll start moving my stuff. Underneath all this, Your Honor, is it's cracking, and eventually my camera angle is horrible. But underneath all of this, all the way down, there's more cracking, more cracking, more cracking, more cracking, more cracking. And I'll go on. I have an actual video of all of it. Something here. So right here, as you come out, oh, this is Terry. If you want to watch the video, Terry coming out of my house. But this is
no, I just want to see the pictures of that.
So that's it. I have a video. I think I have a video on my phone, Your Honor. If you want, I can play that video showing you how long the measurement is. And I have a video of it being over at 22 feet. If you'd like to see that.
No, just.
But I will testify under oath that it is over 22 feet.
All right, thank you. You can take your.
Thank you, Your Honor. And for the record, I was unsure that this would never happen by Brandon himself when he came out to this driveway. I have more chunks that I haven't even brought.
So they're on the edges?
All over the place, Your Honor. It's not just the edges. The end of my driveway, when I was leaf blowing it, it's starting to peel up because of how poor the quality is on one side. When I was leaf blowing it, it started bringing up chunks.
All right, gentlemen, that's quite a lot to unpack. Those videos were probably very difficult for you to see. But it does appear there's substantial low points in the driveway. He showed cracking and breaking along the edges, and he claims there are chunks. What's your response?
Okay. We can go through all of this, and I have an itinerary or list of dates and times that we've talked to him. And some of these complaints we have never heard of. So to go through some of the stuff, on July 17th is when the driveway was first paved. On July 25th, we invoiced Travis for the full amount. On July 25th, he wrote.
All right, now what was the full amount?
The $13,860 was the original amount.
That was the original quote?
The original quote and the invoiced amount, yes, sir.
All right.
He wrote a check to us on that date, July 25th, for $10,000.01. On the 28th of July, we returned Travis's phone call about paying the rest of his bill. Travis was not happy. He wanted to pay the rest by credit card and was going to pay the full amount, but he was not happy about the 4% fee. So he decided not to pay the remainder on the credit card. On July 28th, later on in the day, Terry went out to look at the property due to the complaints that he presented to us during the phone call. Terry then offered to fix the driveway because they were just the edge cracking. And truly, all that does take is a short amount of time, an asphalt porch, and a little tamp to compact it. He refused and said that he was not going to let a crippled elderly man do the repairs, which is when he had the video of Terry sitting on the scooter. On July 25th, he made a Google review with that same video. Or 28th, sorry, I apologize. July 28th, he made the Google review. On July 29th, tried to leave a voicemail twice, one at 12:57. He called back at 4:03. Travis stated that he no longer was paying the bill in full because the driveway was cracking on the edges, and he stated numerous times that he was not going to let an elderly man fix it. On August 4th, we received a check for $112.21. On August 5th, we received a check for $2.72. Both of these have nice little comments on them. On August 5th, Terry texted Travis to try and come out to fix the cracking. We did find out it was an incorrect phone number at the time. We did try and make contact and thought it was, but that was the incorrect phone number as our mistake. On August 13th, Travis came to our office to pay the $1,000 on his account by credit card to continue paying it off. Told us numerous times he was going to take us to small claims court because he had already repaired the driveway himself using crack fillers.
So did you accept that $1,000 payment?
We have accepted, yes. Yep, and that is on the invoice as showing updated and the correct balance as well.
May I add something real quick, Your Honor, if I may, when they're done, or how?
Yeah, you can wait till they're done.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
August 13th is when he came to pay the $1,000 on credit card. Said that he had purchased all the stuff and already fixed his own cracks on the driveway with material that he had purchased on his own with no consultation. August 15th, Tammy called to set up an appointment to look at his driveway for repairs to his satisfaction. He stated on the phone call that he was not sure going to look at it was worth it because he had already started repairing it himself with his crack filler from Amazon. We still made an appointment for Friday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. to have myself, Terry, and my business partner, Tammy Stafford, attend.
All right, just a minute.
Yes, sir.
All right, so he said he started repairing it himself using his own crack filler on 8/15. What was next? You made an appointment to go out there?
Yes, sir. And then on August 22nd at 10 a.m. is when we set up the appointment where we went to the property, knocked on his door. He asked us what we were doing there. Continued to show us where he had fixed the cracks without our consultation, and we informed him again. At that point, I no longer felt comfortable fixing the cracks. Normally, like I said, they were very easy, and I have photos of another property that the same thing happened, that we fixed it and took about 10 minutes. Client's happy as can be. You can see before and after photos showing the edge cracking. Once he puts a product on there that I don't know the product and have no knowledge of, the way to fix asphalt is to reheat it through asphalt torches, and then to use plate compactors and rollers and vibratory compactors to repair the asphalt. With him having an unknown product on there, we don't know whether that produces toxic smoke or whether it melts or any of that. And so we could not fix any of the damage that he had covered with that material at that point, and we went over that with him. As for any damage in the lawn, the original invoice and his signed copy that he says states right in there that we are not responsible for any landscaping or reinforcing the edges of the driveways. We went over that with him. He did state that there was a wet spot on the puddle. The only video of that we've gotten that we could see, because I could not see earlier when he was showing you, it was actively raining when he showed us the puddle. And according to the standards that he has printed off for us, it says that the puddle needs to be at least a half an inch dip or a half an inch in depth in order to count as a depression. And he's never provided us with a video or a measurement for depth. And on August 22nd, when we met him there, as we ended that meeting, he told us never to come back on property. And so we have followed his wishes, and we have not contacted him other than sending updated invoices, and have had no further contact or showing up on property due to his own request.
Hey, just a minute. I'm sorry, I don't have paper copies of these. They're all electronic. So I have to go to my screen to see. I'm looking for the clause that says New pavement is very tender for a period of months after installation. It would be very susceptible to power steering, twist, and tire indentations, especially during hot daytime hours. Caution should be taken to avoid sharp turning or turning wheels while not moving. Small objects of any weight placed on the new pavement will tend to sink into the asphalt, i.e. kickstands, ladders, and grills. Please avoid these situations. Any lawn restoration is the responsibility of the owner unless otherwise specified. Resurfacing over existing asphalt or concrete that cracks will result in reflective cracking in new surface. If gravel base is found to be insufficient, there will be additional cost to be negotiated with the owner. So he accepted the proposal on those terms. All right, you agreed to furnish and install 6 inches of 22A gravel. Was that done?
Yes, sir.
Regrade and compact the gravel base to be paved. Was that done?
Yes, sir.
Furnish and install an average thickness of 1.5 inches of commercial base coarse asphalt and 1.5 inches of commercial service coarse asphalt. So this entire project was to be 3 inches thick.
Yes, sir.
And it says asphalt 36A. What does that mean?
36A is the designation that the asphalt plants provide for the grade of asphalt that's purchased for the day. 36A is considered an industry standard asphalt for residential driveways and produced by both Michigan Paving, Reith Riley, and Lakeland, which are the 3 main asphalt producing plants in our area.
He claims that you did not use 36A, but used recycled asphalt. What's your response to that?
I have zero control. The asphalt plants produce all asphalt in the area for all asphalt companies. When we show up, we order the surface and the tonnage that we require, and the asphalt is put into our trucks and they get tested by the state to make sure that when they say it's a 36A, they're tested periodically to make sure that the scale and size, all that matches a 36A spec.
So what you purchased, who'd you purchase it from?
Reith Riley was the producer of this gentleman's driveway.
And where is that plant?
Kalamazoo, Michigan.
And what you paid for was 36A coarse asphalt?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, the biggest thing he has, I suppose, he claims there are depressions which are causing it to have these low points which fill with water. And that would be from an inadequate base. What's your response to that?
So when paving, I mean, you are moving, low spots can be developed due to compaction and things like that. We do fix them on a regular basis. I have an infrared machine and we go behind lots of the different paving companies through different parking lots and do repairs of low spots. Industry standard does tend to hold that it has to be a water puddle that persists for longer than 24 hours at 80 degrees. And according to Mr. Blair, the tolerance that he would like to follow is 1/2 inch in. So, and I do not know. We've never been provided with a measurement of depth, and because we were asked to leave the property and not come back, and the only we've been provided was when it was actively raining. That I honestly, and I could not see the videos that he provided to you. I don't know if it's a 1/2 inch in depth, nor if it persists after 24 hours.
All right, Mr. Blair.
Okay, first, can they confirm that, Mr. Moyer, can you confirm that you called me before coming out and what day was that?
The only thing that I can confirm to you is that I called you when we were getting ready to do the grade work. You explained to me that you had, to make sure that there would be no vehicles there, you explained to me that you had kicked your girlfriend out and that there wouldn't be a problem to come anytime. And yes, I did not call you prior to the paving dates, just be based on that and just things that I had going on. But I just went by what you said, that you would be there if they needed a vehicle, you would be there, that nobody else would be any vehicles left there. So That's all I.
And can Brandon, can you please confirm that you testified that Mr. Mosby did call me before coming out?
Mr. Moyer,
Mr. Moyer, can you please testify, what's the owner's last name, sir, Your Honor? I need him to, because he stated in his testimony that Mr. Moyer did call me before coming out because of my online complaint. He did testify that.
So we have been out to your house on several occasions, very told me verbally that
that's Mr. Borden. So what's the relevance of this?
It's the fact that I made an online complaint and it goes to a, just what I said about the harassment. And Your Honor, I have a blog standard, a blog point from TM Asphalt's own website. They actually recommend that you use a hot rubber crack filler edge to seal the cracks on the edge of a sidewalk, on the edge of a driveway. This is straight off their website. I don't know this whole heat thing, but they even recommend it. I even explained to the.
All right, well, you took self-help and made some repair on it without.
That's because Mr. Moyer didn't offer any solution, Your
Well,
Honor. When
we're
he came out in a scooter and a boot. And
All
all he said was, we could just heat it and hit it back together. That was his only solution, Your Honor. Never once did he state that he would call the office and make arrangements. He came out there
Well,
on Friday.
by the time they came out for the appointment later in August, you'd already done some self-help.
It's because they offered no solution, Your Honor. Because when Mr. Moyer left, he stated that the only solution was to do two things: heat it up and tap it back in, or I need to lay down more topsoil and help prevent it from cracking further. That was the only two solutions. And Mr. Moyer was in no capable ability of doing that because he was in a boot.
All right.
And he was also on a scooter. There's no way I was going to make him do that.
Well, you said he didn't even come with the tools to do it. I don't think he was prepared to do it.
But he stated that, and then the second time they came out, Your Honor, they didn't even bring the tools either. They just showed up.
Well, they came out, they
Can I
said
say
to
something to
assess
that?
yes, just a moment, to assess the project. Yes, Mr. Bordner.
So Terry, as a sales rep, is not responsible all the time for fixing that stuff. He does carry around tools with him and he does repair some things. He was on a scooter and had a broken ankle this year. And as a sales representative, as you and even Mr. Blair has admitted when I asked him the same question, how often does a sales representative that you meet at, say, a car dealership repair your car? So Terry Moyer was not given the opportunity to repair it. And when we as a company tried to be responsible and set up the meeting to address all of these, before we got out there, he had already fixed his own way all of these crack fills. We did show up with the tools because they were in my truck and Terry had another set of tools in his truck that we could have done the repairs for. Mr. Blair also just said that on our website, it does state that cracks should be repaired with hot pour asphalt or hot pour rubber. He, I do not believe, used hot pour rubber to his repair. And when we asked him what he used from Amazon, he described it as a cold pour caulk.
I did not describe it as cold pour caulk. I described it as an asphalt caulk. And it was, you said you didn't have any idea what asphalt caulk is. I can play your words if you want to hear them, your own words.
I
I
apologize.
recorded our conversation.
Use the wrong terms. Asphalt caulk is fine, but either way, it does say on our website, we recommend a hot pour rubber. And that is not what he used. So even doing his own repairs, he did not follow the recommendations that are put on our
But
website.
neither were you guys.
All right, well, stop. We're not sitting around the kitchen table. We're at
That's
a
right.
trial.
Yes.
And this is all about clear as mud. Some of the things that you're suing for, you can't sue for.
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
can't sue for anguish and pain and suffering. You also can't sue for any damage to your lawn. So
What about my driveway where they forced their way into my garage and cracked the driveway? I don't have a quote on that, but they did force their way into my driveway, into my garage, Your Honor, and park their machine in there. And I still got to get, I'm missing tools and stuff. I got to find receipts so I get
wait a
that.
minute, don't just start throwing spaghetti against the wall and see if it'll stick. Let's see what's in your counterclaim. I believe plaintiff owes me money because damage done to my yard. You can't sue for that.
I don't have the number. Oops, sorry, Your Honor.
Harassment by Terry Mosby for just showing up at my house, triggering my PTSD. Well, you can't sue for that either. A, I don't know if you've established it, and B, you can't sue for a tort, like infliction of emotional distress. So
I didn't know that, Your Honor. I
well,
apologize.
that's common. We have it in the next case also. I have it documented that they were at fault.
I have them both on the record stating, Your Honor, can Mr. Moyer please state, if he was the one who sold TM Asphalt to the current owners?
Well, I don't know what.
That's
difference-
relevant because, I'm sorry, Your Honor, it's relevant because if Terry sold them this, he would be qualified to know what damages are. He's not just a sales rep, he used to own the company.
All right, fair enough, but I'm looking at your counterclaim. $3,000 because they damaged my yard. The contract says that's on you. Harassment by Terry Mosby, that you can't sue for that. So that's what's in your counterclaim.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
All right, so then let's look at their claim.
13,860 was the original invoice.
Now, what's been paid since 11/14/38?
Since 11, he has sent us a $200 check, which brought the balance that he owes, to $2,625.82. And then due to the timing of everything, we had a finance charge added on for the overdue balance of $39.39. Bringing the total amount balance due according to our records to $2,665.21.
All right, well, that's close to what you pled. Now, he does seem to have some legitimate issues here. I can't tell about the sinkholes. The quality of the video wasn't really good enough for me to see it, but it's breaking up along the edges. And your claim is he didn't give you a chance to fix it. And then he used a self-remedy. The project was put in on the 25th.
So we go
And
over
by
clients that they
within 2 weeks, he was already doing stuff to it.
It's said with landscaping that they have to shore up the edge anytime an asphalt, and we go over this with the client, is left with a full 3 to
You
plus
guys never did though.
of the asphalt. Gravity can pull away. It's why we put that landscaping has to be done, which we go
Which
over.
isn't also in the contract.
All right, again, only one person can talk at a time.
Sorry, Your Honor.
We also, I mean, I have video evidence. I did this a week ago to a client that we paved that had the exact same situation. I don't know how to show you photos over Zoom.
Yeah.
It shows the exact same edge cracking, and I don't know if you can bring these around, at least attempt. If you can't, please let me know. I completely understand. But you can see like that edge crack.
Yes.
And then as we zoom out, you can see the same crack along the edge there that shows the back of the car. All that we do is we take an asphalt torch and a tamp, and we heat the asphalt back up to close to the 200 to 300 degree temperature that it is when we put it down. We hit it with the tamp and it smooths everything back out. And I don't know how well you can see that, but that entire edge, the crack is gone and the entire
Yes, I can see it.
loose asphalt is corrected. That repair and that 10 feet of repairs took me maybe 15 to 20 minutes. And I talked to the homeowner and explained the same thing, that with a couple bags of topsoil, he probably never needs to call me again. If it did happen again, to call me, I'd come back out and do the same thing to address the situation. And it truly, we do that, I would say, out of all the driveways we do a year, there probably is somewhere between 2 and say 10, you know, I don't know what the average is, but somewhere in that range every year that we get these calls and we show up with a little tamp and a torch and we heat it up and we fix it. And I would say if on the worst side you do 10 a year, I don't know. I think maybe one I've got called back to a second time.
All right. Mr. Blair, anything else you wish to say?
I would like to know why Terry just showed up if the owner himself is the one going out repairing it. Why is Terry coming out if he's the one fixing them? If it's that simple, I'm not understanding that, because I have them on recording that when they did this, they knew that this would happen. And
Well, what's the difference? If the service manager comes out to look at it,
when Terry left, there was no mention of anyone coming back out or future calling or contacting. I was basically under the impression I was on my own. And then the last time I made any online complaint, I got follow-up calls asking me to change my review. That's what I thought they were doing. I've never had anyone show up at my house unannounced after I make an online complaint, but here we are. That's what Terry did.
well, maybe he came out to see what the concern was. So
But
Mr.
the
Moyer, he
owner
says,
testified that he's not qualified though, Your Honor. If the owner testified he's not qualified, why is he the one coming out?
Well, he's qualified to look at it.
That's not his testimony, though.
Well, Mr. Moyer, did you come out and look at it?
Yes, I did, sir. And at that time, there was a, when we put the second layer of asphalt on, we pull the top layer over the bottom layer, and that's what had cracked, which was very minimal amount, would have taken very little to fix it. And then there was the mention of the garage door being opened and about us having Hispanics working for us and different things like that. But that was it. And then that was kind of the end right there, is that I would get it fixed. It was, wasn't going to do it that night that when I come, but I would have fixed it. And then, you know, we in review and stuff, we just didn't feel comfortable going back out there until we all went out. We would have fixed it that day.
So you all went out there that day, which was the 25th or something. Did you have the tools and equipment with you to repair it on that day?
Yes, sir. We both carry around those tools and equipment in our trucks pretty much the entire summer because, well, I do those repairs I do all the maintenance for Michigan Paving, Lakeland, Reed Riley, and I get phone calls on a darn near daily basis to go repair things like this for them.
All right, so you said at some point he told you to leave and not come back?
Yes, sir. And we got in our cars after he had videotaped us and he said, don't come back. I don't want you on my property. And that's after he had already done his own self-help repairs and those things. And we have not, other than sending updated invoices with the updated totals, we haven't made any contact with Mr. Miller since then.
May I add context to when they did come out, Your Honor, they did nothing but circle around and refuse to even acknowledge. I did point out the sinkholes and they completely glossed over it and didn't even address it. From what I'm gathering, they're gonna have to rip that whole section up just to fix it if they have to. I did point out the cracking. They had no tools with them. If they did, yeah, it was in the truck. But I mean, if I was gonna go fix something, all they had to do, if it was that long and if they were willing to, I would have helped them. I even stated that to them. But they didn't bring any tools. They did nothing but make excuses. They walked around and were nothing but condescending, rude, and disrespectful. I got agitated, went in, grabbed my phone, started recording them, and they kept lying to me. I mean, it's just at some point in time, I mean, if they were going to fix it, why didn't they say, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I got stuff in my car. Let's fix it. And they didn't even do that, Your Honor. So they had the tools. Why didn't they bring it out and say, hey, show me where the cracks are. We'll get it done.
There was
They couldn't even do that. The first 5 minutes was just me arguing with them. And all they did was making excuses about it. And at one point before the crack was even it was about 20 foot long. I don't know. And I said, I was on my own. I didn't know what to do. And I'm asking them. I even followed up with a professional letter saying, hey, you guys need to fix this because I don't feel comfortable. I mean, I can read you an online review where they broke into people's houses, and that's not normal.
What was the date of your letter?
Oh, the formal date, I don't have it in front of me, Your Honor, but I did send it out and they did receive it. I believe it was.
We have this one second.
And I know they did sign it because they did get the check. So they had the letter.
All right, well.
And I did state the depressions, and they were showing all this, Your Honor. And they glossed over it. And every time I'd show them something, they would make an excuse. So I don't know what they were planning on doing when they came out there, but they just kept. I can play the whole video if you want to hear them. Just. And I even tested the asphalt, the stuff I applied. It had no issue. It's standard asphalt sealant. It's the same stuff that they would use. Or similar. I mean, if they're worried about toxicity, which they never even said, I could have shown them. I had a tube in the garage. They never even asked. I assumed you would know what the stuff is because their company's TM Asphalt and Sealant. I assumed they would know this stuff, but they just, when I told them what I'd done, they didn't ask, hey, can you show me? Can you please? No, they didn't. They also assured me the driveway when it cracked, and here it is right here, examples that it's still cracking. I got chunks like this breaking up still, Your Honor. They assured me if I go home right now, I can pull a chunk out about that big in one spot. And what's going to happen underneath it is water's going to freeze, and the whole thing's done. By the end of this winter, that driveway is going to start having major issues. And I think that when they were behind schedule, they used subpar material. They rushed the job. I mean, they literally broke into my garage to park their machine to cool it down. I mean, I didn't even give them permission. They showed up 2 times.
All right, let's stop.
Yes, sir.
Do you think you're part of the problem? You're
No,
so
sir.
you're so angry. If I just sit there like this, you would rant for 45 minutes. I've got another lady waiting for hear her
Yes,
case.
sir. I
You're
understand,
so
Your Honor.
angry, there's nothing that they could do to make you happy.
I tried
Then
to.
you stop. This is my turn to talk. Then
Yes,
you
sir.
went out there, you couldn't wait within 20 days of the time they put the substance down. You're out there putting around, doing something without any professional advice because you were upset about it. We don't know about these sinkholes yet because we can't tell. They came out, they talked to you, they offered to make the repairs and you kicked them off your
They
property.
did not offer, Your Honor.
Well, that was their testimony.
I can play a video if you want to hear them. I have a whole video if you want to hear it.
I don't have time to hear it. So then you countersue them for things you can't sue for. PTSD and lawn damage. And the contract covers lawn damage. I agree, the edges look crappy on there. But you were puttering around out there with something without their blessing within 20 days of the time that they did it. They're a professional company that's been around here for years and years. And this was an expensive job. $13,000 isn't pocket change. And of course they're busy. They're busy every summer. So I don't take it as a criticism. They work from sundown to sunset. It just shows they work hard. So you have some idea that they gave you inferior materials and they rushed your job based on just your opinion about it. And then you're so mad at them that there wasn't anything they could do that was going to make it right. Then you kicked them off your property. And there's a contract. You're suing on breach of the contract, which controls. They gave you a price. They told you how much it was going to cost. They adheres pretty darn closely to the original quote. And according to their testimony, installed it according to standard practice. I would have liked to have given you something in your counterclaim to maybe level this out, but the counterclaim doesn't contain anything that I can award damages for.
Understood, Your Honor.
The amount due is $2,655.31 plus $86.25 in costs. Is a total of $2,741.56. You would offer to make monthly installment payments in your answer. But that's not gonna get it at $50 a month.
Whatever the court decides, Your Honor, I would just like to reiterate that the initial contact with Terry, there was no mentioning of fixing the driveway other than him doing it himself. No mentioning of any future contact from the company to fix it. I just want to reiterate that.
All right, that's
Which is why I repaired it myself, Your Honor. Because I was under the
again,
impression that
we're
they were
under,
not going to fix
we're
it.
under a very short time frame.
Then Mr. Mosby would have said, or Mr. Moore would have said, I'll be back, we'll come back Monday. I would have never had an issue. They would have had a check after they fixed it. I could write a check today, but they demonstrated that they have no problem breaking into my property, and they showed up 3 times unannounced. That's why I don't want them back on my property, Your Honor.
All right, fair enough. One claim, you claim they didn't do it. The other company claims they weren't supposed to be there by 8:15. Or 8:13, you paid them $1,000. All right, that's my ruling. You're gonna pay this at least $200 per month,
Yes, Your Honor.
starting December 1st.
Do I get instruction from the court, or do I pay directly
You
to
pay it
them or
directly
you?
to TM Asphalt.
Yes, sir. I will be.
You can pay it sooner if you want to just get it over with.
Well, I plan on it, Your Honor. I mean, I have more detail once I get more. I mean, I'm gonna file with Laura and a whole bunch of other things about this in the future, so.
All right, that's up to you, but I would have tried to level it out, but as I said, there was nothing in the counterclaim I could award damages for. All right, if you go out to the counter, they'll give you a copy of this.
Yes, sir.
He owes you $2,741.56. Lesson learned here, I guess, has to do with customer service. In this day and age, people post opinions which can damage your reputation, whether it's deserved or not. I had a lady today who has mental illness problems that said on the record all kinds of things that I did, which I didn't. And you got an hour's worth of a trial on YouTube that people are gonna have an opinion about.
I'm 100% disabled veteran, Your Honor. That's why I put that in there.
Well, thank you for your service. What service were you in?
Army, sir. Out of Fort Drum, and then I did a year on at Bob Fenty, Afghanistan, RC East, and then another year on a contract.
That's rough duty. Today is the 250th anniversary of the United States Marine Corps, which an
Yes,
Army
sir.
guy might only tangentially appreciate. All right, you go out to the counter, the folks will give you a copy of this.
Straight out the same door, Your Honor.
That's right over there.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your
Thank you.
service.
What's that, sir?
Room 107.
107. Do you need anything with the bag? Anything good?
You're good to go. All right, gentlemen, thank you.